Is Redfall worth playing? Reviews have been absolutely slamming it, and justifiably so. If you're playing on Game Pass and you're in a bit of a game drought, I think there is some fun to be found in the game, but at full price, there's simply no way it's even close to being worth what they're asking for it. On Steam, it's 120 Australian dollars, which is frankly insulting for what you're given. This review is mostly from a gunplay and progression point of view. When I heard Redfall was a co-op PvE looter shooter, I was excited to flex my aim and see how far I could take headshots and target switching, especially when the pre-release footage showed slower, clumsy looking controller gameplay that the game and weapons were likely designed around. First up, performance in this game is terrible. I covered the current best settings to reduce input lag and improve fidelity in another video linked in the description, so I won't go over the details here. With my settings optimized, I was able to start having some fun with certain weapons, despite still having a frustrating amount of input lag. In its current state, flick shots with single fire or semi-auto weapons don't really work. You can see here that with every flick, I fire well before the crosshair moves onto the target, and the flick distances are quite short. This almost never happens in any other game, let alone repeatedly. What's strange about this is that I would expect the click latency and the latency for crosshair movement to be the same, so the issue with firing too early shouldn't really exist. In Kovacs and video experiments, for example, you can play with artificial delay and flick shots still work the same. You can flick, then click, and watch it play out on screen as you would expect. I don't know exactly why this doesn't seem to be the case in Redfall, but it's very annoying and makes many of the weapons feel bad to use. As far as fun goes, automatic weapons had the least amount of problems. You can still flick around and target switch, and firing a little too early doesn't really matter with these weapons. Outside of the input, the next big problem with gunplay and combat is the mob density. The world is so empty, and when you do find enemies, there's so few of them. If you're playing multiplayer, especially in a group of 3 or 4, you can go entire encounters without fighting anything if another teammate killed 2 on their own, for example. Playing solo gives you the best gunplay experience, which sucks because playing with friends should enhance the experience. I killed the boss that dropped a legendary rifle with a unique skin and everything, yet the scope managed to be misaligned. Mistakes like this just hammered home how little care was given to the gunplay. The progression system initially looked quite interesting, but when you dive into it, there really isn't much there. You get 3 weapon slots, 2 relic style slots, and a skill tree that provides very little choice. The weapon slots feel frustratingly limited as there's no quick swap and you can't pause the game to manage your inventory even in single player. There are certain weapons you only want to use against specific enemies and some in non-combat situations. Weapon mods are bland and uninteresting, usually just a flat damage or modifier increase. There are probably some more interesting effects late game, but so far the Blood Remnant slot is just a HP boost and defensive stats. I had a legendary that reduced my heal cast time, but that's about it. In 8 hours of gameplay, I only found 1 Vampire God Remnant that dropped from a main story boss, so this slot hardly sees any use. The skill trees can provide some impactful improvements, but to reach the capstone of a tree, you need all the prior upgrades, so there's no actual choices being made in the long run. Deeper upgrades also required more points invested to unlock them, which feels pretty bad when you don't get to spend a point after leveling up. The tooltips are frustratingly vague, like cloak lasts longer, how much longer? Additional storage of assault rifle and sniper ammo, how much extra storage? Overall, the progression system is severely lacking interesting choices and ways to differentiate yourself from other players. I've seen some complaints about the world size, and for me it didn't really bother me that much. The environment provides many different ways to approach a situation, and the generous jumping and mantling height makes moving around and positioning feel pretty good. In general, the game does a good job of rewarding exploration. If you take time to move off the obvious path, you'll almost always be rewarded with loot or lore of some kind. Climb a tower, find a sniper rifle. Deactivate these gas-spewing thingos in peculiar areas and find hidden loot. If Redfall was to greatly improve performance, mob density and AI, I think the game could be alright. The problem is, even with patches, I don't see it ever being better than a mediocre game. It's just dull. It's like any time they could have made an interesting creative choice, they went with the bland and safe option instead. The game isn't impossible to fix, I just doubt they're going to bother. Overall, I give the gunplay 1 out of 5 and the overall game 2 out of 5. To get the most out of Redfall, I highly recommend checking out my settings guide here. Thanks so much for watching, be sure to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll catch you in the next one.